This is the result of the Scottish Parliament election for the Highlands and Islands Region. The electorate was 362,133. The total number of votes cast was 239,388. The turnout was 66.1%. Parties and individual candidates standing in the Highlands and Islands region received the following votes. Abolish the Scottish Parliament Party, 686.3% of the vote. Alba Party, 3,828, 1.6%. All for Unity, 1,540.6%. Freedom Alliance, Integrity, Society, Economy, 671.3%. Reform UK, 547.2%. Restore Scotland, 437.2%. The Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party, 60,779, 25.4%. The Scottish Family Party, 1,976.8%. The Scottish Green Party, 17,729, 7.4%. The Scottish Labour Party, 22,713, 9.5%. The Scottish Liberal Democrats, 26,771, 11.2%. Scottish Libertarian Party, 488.2%. Scottish National Party, SNP, 96,433, 40.4%. Scottish Trade Unionist and Socialist Coalition, 280.1%. The UK Independence Party, UKIP, 457.2%. Mansfield Hazel, 219.1%. Whiteman Andy, 3,367, 1.4%. The total number of valid votes, 238,921. The candidates to whom seats have been allocated are Douglas Ross, Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. Edward Mountain, Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. Rhoda Grant, Scottish Labour Party. Donald Cameron, Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. Ariane Claire Burgess, Scottish Green Party. Jamie Halcrow Johnston, Scottish Conservative and Unionist Party. Emma Roddick, Scottish National Party. I declare that those candidates have been duly elected to the Scottish Parliament. The number of papers rejected was 467.2%. I would now like to invite Douglas Ross onto the stage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Returning Officer. Could I first of all, on behalf of all the candidates in the Highlands and Islands region, thank you and your outstanding team here in Inverness, in Dingwall, for the way you've conducted the regional count, and also to all the returning officers and their great teams in every single constituency in this region. The circumstances are such that none of us would have wanted, but the way each and every member of our counting staff and teams on polling day, on Thursday, and over 2 days of counting have gone about their duties has been exceptional, and we are all extremely grateful. And also, well done on being the first region in Scotland to declare, so first prize to the Highlands and Islands. Today is the best ever result for the Scottish Conservatives in this region. I was elected as an MSP for the Highlands and Islands 5 years ago with 2 other colleagues, and at that time that was our best ever result. And 5 years on, I am joined by 3 colleagues. This region is so important to me. I've lived within the Highlands and Islands in Moray my entire life. I've had the great pleasure and privilege to represent this area before, and I'm delighted to be returned again to represent this diverse and wonderful part of Scotland. 44% of the landmass of Scotland, a huge number of different islands and communities, all seeking something different from their elected politicians. And we have had 6 weeks of extremely competitive and at times divisive debate, but I believe now people are looking for their MSPs, both within this region and across Scotland, to work together to show the same unity that people across this country have shown in coming through the worst of this pandemic so far and looking towards our recovery as a country. I'd like to congratulate the fellow MSPs who have been elected from my own party, from Scottish Labour, from the Scottish Greens and the Scottish National Party here today in the Highlands and Islands. The Scottish Liberal Democrats, of course, have also been successful in constituencies. And whatever the outcome later on today, democracy has won because the turnout for this Scottish Parliament election is the highest ever. And whatever people's individual choices, the fact that so many came out and did their democratic duty to vote in this election is encouraging and something we can all welcome at this time. So on behalf of me, I pledge to work hard for this region in the Scottish Parliament over the next 5 years, and I'd like to invite my colleague Edward Mountain up onto the stage and once again congratulate all the candidates standing in this region and their teams who have put in so much over the last 6 week campaign. Thank you.
Thank you, Douglas, and I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the returning officer and all her staff, and not just the staff that we've seen in the hall today and yesterday counting, but all those people in the village halls who, and I don't need to remind you, on Thursday were often armed with shovels, scraping snow off the steps so people could get in and vote. It is really important the part they play in our democracy. It's a great privilege for me to stand up here as an elected member of the Scottish Parliament to represent a region which I've come to love during the course of my life. In the last 5 years, I found it particularly challenging to dealing with all the requests for help that we meet as MSPs, mainly on matters to do with health, education and infrastructure. My pledge to those people that voted for me and for my party is that in the next 5 years, that will be the focus of my attention, resolving the issues that people face every day as part of their lives. And I will not be deflected by other matters in relation to politics, because those issues are the things that are important. And it would be wrong if I didn't pass from here without saying thank you to my agent, Anne, and my team, and especially the team that supported me in the Parliament, Patricia and Ashley and Ewan. And of course, it would be wrong if I didn't thank my wife, who's put up with my grumpiness over the last 6 weeks. So thank you to them, and congratulations to my fellow MSPs. And I'd like to call on Rhoda up to the stage, who I've enjoyed sparring with in the last 5 years, and will enjoy sparring with in the next 5 years.
Thank you, Edward, and I would also like to congratulate the other candidates that have been elected today. It's a huge privilege to me, and I would like to thank all those who voted for myself and my colleagues in the Scottish Labour Party throughout the Highlands and Islands who ran such an excellent campaign. On their behalf, I would like to thank the returning officer and her staff and all the other people who have worked hard to make this election happen. I'd like to thank my agent, Jess Galloway, and my campaign team, and my staff who work so hard for me. Every MSP should work hard, but they have a hard-working team behind them, and they serve the people of the Highlands and Islands every day. I'd also like to take the opportunity to pay tribute to David Stewart, my colleague who is retiring, and point out the work that he did for the region, and it's a privilege for me to continue to do that work. We love the area that we serve, and I hope to continue that work, serving the Highlands and Islands, taking the issues affecting our region to Holyrood and fighting for a better deal for the area. That's something I hope to do. I hope the others being elected now will do as well. I'll hand over to Ariana Burgess, who is the Green candidate, and congratulate her on her success.
I want to start by thanking Donna Manson and the amazing team that have run this count, both here in this count hall over the last few days, but also across the Highlands and Islands and all the other local authorities across the other parts of the region for running safe and very well organised counts. I have felt really in good hands, and I say this to Donna every time that I meet them and their team. I feel in good hands when they do these operations. It's been very, very difficult this time with COVID, and I think we've all had a good experience. I want to say thank you to my amazing team of colleagues across the region, from Shetland to Argyll and Bute, who have helped me run this campaign, tirelessly getting out, campaigning on the ground, as well as online, to bring us this result and to return our green seat for the Highlands and Islands. And I want to say a brilliant thank you to everyone who chose to put the X in the box for the Scottish Green Party for this coming session. It is clear that those people are aware that the climate and nature emergencies are critical, and this is what I want to be working on in Holyrood. I will keep the pressure on the government of Day, along with my fellow Green MSPs. And one of the things that I have heard over this campaign is the concern about rural depopulation. And I am absolutely committed to working with the communities across the region to ensure that we turn that around and that we make this region a place where young people can stay, where they don't feel homeless and they don't feel that they have to leave to the cities. This is an emergency, along with climate and nature, that I am very well aware of, and I'm looking forward to being in Holyrood, but being rooted in the region and making sure that we do right for the young people with affordable housing and jobs. I also want to say thank you to my partner, who has been incredibly supportive over the last 6 months and actually the last year and a half, very flexible and tolerant in all of that has been going on. It's been a really great campaign and a wonderful experience, even under these difficult circumstances. And with that, I would like to invite my future colleague, Emma Roddick, to join me, or to come up onto the stage, and welcome.
Thank you, Ariane. I want to start off, first of all, by thanking everybody in the Highlands and Islands who has put their trust in the SNP and Nicola Sturgeon to lead Scotland out of this pandemic and into a better, brighter future that we can choose for ourselves. The increase in our vote share across the region is a huge vote of confidence in the First Minister and a demonstration of a desire for Scottish independence. Thanks must also go to the Council staff today and yesterday who have facilitated the democratic process in extremely trying, unprecedented circumstances. I also want to thank my friends for putting up with 2 months of election chat, and the SNP constituency candidates, particularly Jenny and Marie, who have been incredibly supportive and welcoming. Back in 2020, which was a terrible year for many of us, I would never have expected to be standing up here in front of you today, getting ready to serve the beautiful, diverse region that I love so much. And I certainly wouldn't have expected to be doing this without my mother watching. So I want to thank my little sister Sophie for being so supportive when I became a candidate in a really difficult time for both of us after we lost our mother to COVID in January. The pandemic has had so many serious effects on the region, including inflicting personal losses on so many of us, damaging mental health, and unexpectedly plunging countless working people into poverty. So I will get to work immediately to support individuals, businesses and the NHS in the region as we begin our recovery. And I plan to work closely with the wonderful team of constituency MSPs which were elected yesterday as I stand up for the Highlands and Islands in the Scottish Parliament to the best of my ability. Thank you.